much. Moya is equipped with the super. That's going to be dangerous for Elevate. They don't have much health to work with, and they certainly don't have a way of escaping from a gene pull. Moya is super low, Tensai, and with a hypercharge, a team wipe as he snaps to the right side to bring home game one.
That goes horribly for Elevate. They have to use a Gust super just to keep them alive. They take too much poke damage from the RT, and they know if there's an RT gadget used, they will instantly be eliminated. So there's no choice for Elevate to use their silver bullet just to keep themselves in the game. Luffy's got to be kicking himself after that.
There's no synergy here for Elevate on these brawlers, on this composition, because Gus, what is he really going to be used for? He has that self-preservation of the super, but typically you're going to find your value from using that on a teammate that's quite low. And that's just not how we see it being applied out here. This is not what this comp is tailored for. It is a series of 1v1s over here. And so far, Crazy Raccoon are prevailing.
It's a scary science for North American fans. Elevate really need to get themselves into the driver's seat. They are currently having this match, or at least this set, dictated to them by these previous champions. Good poke, this is better. Moya under pressure. Vengeful Spirits though, staves Zeus off, takes him low, and Moya is able to avoid the shots from the Brock.
But Elevator, oh, what a gadget from Luffy. Finally, a man advantage for Elevate. A super in from RBN. There's one, there's two. Tensai, the last one alive, trying to avoid feeding hypercharge to the enemy side, but he knows it's inevitable. RBM's got it now. Luffy has his super, and Zeus also close to one of his own. Elevate are in a great position.
And that's around one on mechanics there for Elevate. Normally, Crazy Raccoon's MO. But without a draft that is, you know, patently dominant over Crazy Raccoon, Elevate have to lean into the individual. They have the firepower to rely on, as we just saw. Can they do it again, though?
An ambitious super in from Tensai down that right lane. You see them gradually keep RBM and Luffy back. They have possession of mid, and no one wants to push into Moya, equipped with this super. On the left side, we see Zeus in pretty much a stalemate against Site Tampo. It's going to take shots to take him down. Zeus is looking pretty dangerously low over there. We'll also see Moya swap lanes over to the left side, trying to get a jump on RBM once the poison forces him forward.
Zeus spamming pins to Chitampo there. Gets him to come forward. Okay, RBM, hypercharge at the ready. It's raining rockets. Chitampo able to walk out. Look at that. What a magic hand. What a pick up on Zeus. RBM's in trouble now. Another Gust super to try and keep the Brock in the fight, and RBM's going to try and come forward. But Crazy Raccoon will not be denied.
What synergy from Crazy Raccoon over here. We saw a member super low. Whole team came together to body block and keep him alive. That was into RBM's rocket fuel, meant as a kill confirm onto that brawler. But Elevate tried to get some synergy of their own, finally applying that super from Luffy for some good, putting it on RBM twice. But it didn't actually manage to do anything. We also saw a near kill on a Tensai from Luffy there on the right side. Unexpected kill on a Zeus out of nowhere from Site Tampo. Drops Elevate down to their final lives.
Set on the line, Elevate has to win a 2 versus 3 against, well, a combined 4 world champions on the side of Crazy Raccoon. Moya with the hyper, guarantee the pull, and it's up to Luffy now. And I don't think there's a fruit in the world that could give him the power to take down the raid bosses that are Crazy Raccoon. Pops the super, but now knows it is over. Back into the gas perhaps, and that's 2 sets for APAC number 1.
Crazy Raccoon enforcing their style of play out here, playing the 1v1s, and when it matters most, going for that synergy. But remember that this final round, even the one that was just played, was a cascading effect after a single kill that we saw from Site Tampo on the left side.
That is often what these knockout rounds boil down to, Ready. Getting a 3v2. It's really hard to lose those if the gas isn't already basically surrounding you. And because both teams are playing these long-range poke comps that have kill confirms, right? We of course have Kooky Popper. We have the gadget from the RT. There are so many points of volatility. I mean, we talk about the gadget as well from the Brock. Taking one hit can be the difference between life or death.
Precisely what we saw. We need to see the kill confirmed. So the valuable thing that actually locked in the round. And when it came down to Brock actually utilizing that ability, team play came in to stymie that entirely.
And I think honestly, like that round that Elevate were able to win is a result of, I think Shitapo or one of Crazy Raccoon walking over a Ghost, allowing an easy kooky pop to pick up here. Tensai on the Rico with 6 eliminations and only 1 apiece for the entirety of Elevate. This set definitely felt like it was an uphill battle for the NA squad.
I mean, I really think that Crazy Raccoon are playing in their own dojo over here. They have enforced things to their will. They have molded this draft to go exactly the way that they want on these maps. And we focus on this as being the weak point of Crazy Raccoon. So what happens when they're the goats of mechanics and they also can bend the draft to their will? It's pretty much a playground for them.
Exactly. It's like a domain expansion from Crazy Raccoon. What will the answer be here from Elevate? They have one more chance to send this to a 5th and final set. So their Ring of Fire play will have to be centimeter perfect.
Ой, посмотрелся.
Elevate now with the first pick available, and Crazy Raccoon finally willing to let one of these new brawlers slide. Kenji now available in the draft, but Elevate are going to have to utilize this. It's a 4-5 selection. They won't have the last laugh in this one. No last pick. So
Я ждал, что комп перезагрузился.
The crab now coming out.
Pretty good on those side lanes.
Типа,
These are a little harder
сбросилось.
to sort of get into the back line from, though. You can play on the right side and work around that barrel a little bit. But Luffy doesn't mind feeding a couple kills early on. He can turn those into credits, especially with the gadget that, you know, increases his credit generation. He just needs to get to gold as quickly as possible.
And it's entirely possible for the Clancy to fall flat on its face as long as it's outranged, and Control has played Lu coming in quite early in the draft.
Okay.
Definitely a surprising one that Crazy Raccoons could choose to bring in later in the draft, but they actually managed to make it work yesterday, so why not go for it now? And Gus to play a mid over here.
The only thing separating this from 2023 is, what, a spike? that would really make it look like the comps of old. But yeah, Gus again being picked up for CR. Once more, Elevate don't get the value they're looking for out of it, but he's just such a great mid to long range brawler. The kill confirmed potential, we saw how good it was earlier. Lola will come out here. That ego really letting you fight a little bit longer on the point and increase your damage output. It's definitely what makes this such an ideal pick here.
2 brawlers from Elevate that should be pretty good in the tanks, and here's the Kenji, and now either RBM or Luffy are out to play. So will it be Luffy that really stole the show with Kenji just yesterday, or will it be RBM, Team Tank Specialist, that will take the reins of the Sushi Master over here on the right side? Well, it'll maybe come down to which brawler is going to be more demanding, depending on the last pick out here. Surge going to be getting some free levels off of this Kenji as long as he's pushed.
And we've talked about, you know, common counters to Kenji being tanks, right? The Elevate's composition is already very hostile to tanks. Very high damage brawlers with decent range in Clancy and Lola, so that's not an option. Crazy Raccoon going for the Surge alongside the Gus and the Lu. It's all gonna fall down to that Surge player. Again, both teams fancy these brawlers that only get stronger as the game goes, and it's Elevate's last chance to stay alive. The hopes of NA rest on their shoulders as we jump in a Ring of Fire.
Right out the gates, Luffy aggressive around this left side, but quickly regrets his decision. He does not want to push into Moya, and he also doesn't want to push into Sitatampo. So which is it going to be? He's just going to have to swallow that and go for it, trying to bait out some of the shots on the left side. Note that Elevate have been quite uncontested here at mid, and Crazy Raccoon are going to have to reevaluate their lanes.
Yeah, no longer can Crazy Raccoon be so aggressive to defend that left side. They're able to step up, get themselves some percentage here. RBM yet to get a hit in this game, getting his first one just there. It's an awkward spot for the Clancy to be. He's trying to get some damage. Caught inside there, Lu's super stunned up. Free damage for Moya as RBM heads home with his tail between his legs.
Luffy still trying to bait out some of the shots. Another super in, and the gadget popped to Luffy. So vulnerable, but remains alive or on the left side. Doesn't matter though. Moya has already managed to farm his hypercharge off of him, and RBM on the right side is being totally denied. Note that he's also running the dash gadget for RBM. On the back left, Luffy's trying to get on the Sitatampo. Bested by the Surge jump.
He has to respect the power shield as well because it reduces damage and helps Surge reload instantly. And then there's the super that gives him
Что
vulnerability, so
делать?
Luffy can't actually attack Chitapo at all there. Very awkward matchup for the Kenji. Chitapo now flashing that super as well, knows he can dodge away. Luffy has to use a gadget now, maybe looking at Tensai, who just bubbles himself, and Crazy Raccoon look indomitable on this point. Elevate, nowhere to be seen.
Crazy Raccoon, absolutely indestructible on every single lane.
500.
Elevate got a 10% lead in the beginning, and that was the last time they ever even thought about stepping on that point. The Lu, you don't want to feed it, but what happened anyway? Because of the lanes that are enforced here, there's no real home for the Kenji. For the Clancy, the first selection, they drafted themselves into a corner. They weren't really able to get any tokens farmed up and get to that valuable second level where the damage and the range of Clancy actually starts to become a threat.
Luffy's been much more proactive this time around. Chitapo still has a super. Luffy attempts to dodge it. Gadget gets him healed up, but Chitapo is chilling. Level 2 and a super available. RBM is cut down.
It's going to take a concerted effort to move Chitapo out of this left side. He's actually just going to do it anyway because it's fine. He got his level 3. Luffy on the back right, definitely a threat. Chitapo out with the gadget. Still some damage in from Luffy. And a kill. Elevate, take back control of mid. And a slight advantage. Looks like a good open.
Yeah, Chitapo though, he's at level 4. RBM's got to be careful. Still bronze. Luffy wants to dive in, but Chitapo is basically unkillable right now. With that super available, Zeus tries to get away. Freeze frame used in order to try and play from behind that ego. Luffy's got nowhere to go. Yeah, another gadget use, and now we're an even game.
RBM still with nowhere to really go. He's outraged absolutely everywhere. He wants to get this back right, but he's going to have to face Chitapo with the super as well. You see the super in from Luffy. Really no value out of that. CR looking for the next kill before they can actually move in onto this point. Nothing just yet, just playing the slow control.
This surge, man. This surge is terrifying. Luffy gets taken down. Chitapo benefits there from Tensai's super. So it's a very healthy surge still. Moya pressured by RBM. Finally, the Clancy gets in there, but there's an answer. Chitapo brings the Lola down, and Luffy beats Chitapo. An anime battle to end them all. Chitapo comes off second best, and Elevate have a lead now.
Tensai now approaching with the super, can get some synergy here with Moya, might need to use it. Super in, pops it on himself. Luffy with a cycled super and slices, dices, decimates Tensai. Elevate are persisting in spite of a match point.
This time though, it seems like the game plan for the Kenji is so much clearer. Act early, act often. Get up in the Surge's face, whether he's level 1 or 4. Take that fight and take one of the biggest weapons for Crazy Raccoon off the battlefield.
It's going to be difficult because Tensai is so closely guarded. He's flanked by both Chitapo and Moya. But if there's any time of game to go for him, it's got to be now. We saw Luffy and RBM both double stack that left lane. It improves their chances of getting something optimal. RBM playing around this 90 degree on the left side.
So active.
Moya is still actually lining up these shots. RBM throws it mid-dash. And an excellent start for Crazy Raccoon.
RBM though, getting those credits. He gets a little bit of the job done. Close to silver now. As Luffy steps up to the plate next, but he's half stunned. Damaged heavily. Luffy has to play back behind that box. RBM just hit silver, but Luffy's got nothing to do back there. Nice torrent. RBM gets aggressive, and Elevate finally get on the board.
What an excellent comeback here for Elevate. They managed to get RBM almost to the gold tier. On the right side, Luffy is being quite cautious about feeding any more super to Moya, knowing how much of a win condition it can be. Luffy up to the skies. Excellent timing on that super. Chitapo had the damage and he had the shots thanks to the gadget.
Yeah, that power shield is huge for Surge. Now Zeus and RBM, the latter flashing his super, generate a lot of threat here on the point. Chitapo falls and Elevate get themselves into the lead. Hold on, we might be looking at a set 5 at this rate. RBM backs up, Tensai shields himself. Here's another sashimi from Luffy, and he gets rid of the Gus.
Chitapo now hypercharged all the way behind, going for the deep route. Zeus trying to dispel him, knows where he is in these bushes, but can't really contest because the fight has been brought all the way to Crazy Raccoon's side. Doesn't matter, the spawn trap is on. Zeus trying to stay alive, jump in from Chitapo, and completely nullified.
There it is, another super from RBM, and Elevate struggle early on this set, but now starting to bring things back. 95% and counting, a set 5 looming. Here comes Crazy Raccoon, they clear them off at 98. Luffy knows he just needs to stand here, and he does! We're going all the way!
number one in A, number one APAC. It's bound to go the distance. Mechanics against draft. The Crazy Raccoon have proven that they have a certain level of mastery in both of these regards. But they mechanically denied the Clancy those levels for actually quite some time. But it really, really came to head in that final game of this set, where we saw a quite quick advancement to level 3 for Clancy.
Yeah, because RBM got rid of that self-preservation instinct that was holding him back for so much of this set. Started to come forward, feed a couple kills here and there, it was fine. Luffy was doing the same thing. Elevate around that control that Zeus was providing, and Lola used their two laners, the two loose ends to keep Crazy Raccoon busy enough to prevent them from touching.
This lack of self-preservation should be a key takeaway for Elevate, because if there's anything that Crazy Raccoon, especially Tensai on socials, has been vocal about, is his frustration with the meta, with the brawlers that simply run at you. Doesn't matter if they die, because they're still winning the objective. That is their kryptonite. That is their weakness. It's quite late in the game to really be discovering this, but they gotta apply that knowledge now. It doesn't matter, because Tensai's still picking up tons of kills in spite of the matchup he's facing.
Yeah, really timely. Supers coming out onto Shitampo, allowing him to win that protracted battle against Luffy. Every time the Kenji respawns, he is looking for the surge, looking to get into the bush on Crazy Raccoon's side of the map and trap them in their own spawn. But it's a great recovery from Elevate. You've got to hand it to them. They, right now, in real time, before our eyes, are being forged into potential champions by this APAC #1 seed. It's the last hope for North America, and they're giving it everything they've got.
We're looking at four world champions over here on Crazy Raccoon. #1 and #2 in 2022. They combined to form a roster that seemed invincible last year, and they got a top 4 finish. This would be a downgrade from last year to go top 8. They cannot let it slip now. It all comes to a head here on Double Swoosh, set number 5.
People have been saying these demigods of Crazy Raccoon, they've been known, they've been shown to bleed, to be fallible. We've seen mistakes from them over the course of this tournament. They have played maximum Brawl Stars in every single one of their matches now.
Вообще ни разу не играл, прикиньте.
No exception. Double Swoosh
Он мне
coming out
выпал,
for
ну
our
как
last
выпал,
map.
за кредиты я его взял, фиг знает когда, ни разу за него не играл. За Моя там пару раз, или один раз сыграл.
You got to be Kenji, right?
Surely, I mean, into the Gene, he can't get blasted away, but he's going to run out of those after some time.
Yeah, Lamp Blowout only has 3 charges unless you have a gear. Crazy Raccoon, do they succumb to the new hotness, to this new era of Brawl Stars, and pick up the Kenji here to try and get themselves into the semi-final? No, Surge is going to be the answer. They're allowing a Kenji pick potentially from Elevate. Can this be exploited in the draft?
Totally can, especially if you go for spawnables out here. Stuff that soaks up Surge's damage is going to be his major weakness. And Elevate can totally sneak up on.
Может, кстати, его как раз таки апать на 1000 следующем.
Because Surge as a brawler, he's slow. He's going to benefit a lot from these bushes because
Вот на мозг сколько у меня кусков?
gear out here to help him out. That'll allow him
11.
to encroach on the left side.
Получается 2 игры, да?
Super
Почему
stealthy.
11?
Maybe even get a few
Я что,
taps
за него
off
проиграл?
on Luffy. They're also going to pick up Tara. Oh, they know the Surge's shortcomings. They're picking up the key thing to play on the lane against him.
That is terrifying. We've already seen it once earlier today from SK Gaming. A devastating side laner with ridiculous damage at close range.
А точно, сейчас в рангеле сыграть. Апать. Ну ладно, я это уже потом подумаю.
Everyone sucks them in, especially if there's a gem carrier caught in
Не
that gravity.
сегодня.
It's curtains for them. And of course, the Kenji, as expected, picked up.
Kenji is going to be feeding this Tara big time though. Should be able to slash through all of these spawners. So actually possible for Sita Tampo to go for a psychic enhancer over here. Reveal all of those bushes. If they find that knowledge to be quite valuable over here. Also going to be feeding that Surge. Definitely a dangerous prospect. So do Elevate decide to... Oh, Janet is coming out to play. And Janet has some potential to also scout up the bushes because of her gadget and also a star power swap if she wants to sacrifice the time that it takes for a shot to focus in exchange for vision.
Опять выругивается.
That is fascinating. That's right, stage view will allow her to reveal bushes around herself while she is flying. Also, if she were to come across the gem somehow, she'd be dominant and be able to keep them away. Draco picked up for Crazy Raccoon. What a pick!
Definitely unusual. You almost never, ever see this. He should have some survivability against this Kenji, though. We talk about what are Kenji's actual counters? Well, in a word, tanks. But anything with huge self-preservation abilities. And in close range, this Draco can totally prevail. He has a gadget that'll keep him alive on 1 HP for a pretty serious duration against the Kenji.
Also, his super will heal him if he has the right star power, which means he can take a bunch of damage and still be a relevant threat. Elevate, have they walked into a hard counter to the Kenji? There's only one way to find out. Help from beyond cleared pretty quickly by those generous shots.
Nice.
And RBM grouping up, giving up the left-hand side because they know they can't deal with Draco in the bushes.
CT Tampo also playing on this right side instead of the expected left. Zeus is going to get some scouting on the left. Definitely running that +1 to make sure he knows that Tensai's coming up, but doesn't have the damage to actually dispel him, and Tensai gets free positioning.
Right, Tensai dives in, not having to stay alive, not inclined to use the last stand gadget or didn't have the opportunity. Regardless, it's Elevate now with an advantage. A slim one though as Moya evens the score. Remember, this Tara Super can break open the bushes on this right side of the map, make it dangerous for Elevate to play there. Tensai again goes for the gadget. This time it pays off. Zeus must take to the skies after recovering some gems.
Got some pretty decent value on this CT Tampo. Luffy on the left side, definitely risking feeding super to CT Tampo, but at the same time falls to Moya. All 7 gems on the field belong to Crazy Raccoon.
Here's Tensai in super, last stand popped as well, but Luffy's able to deal with him. A lot of map control though, given up by Elevate here, and they're behind by 4 whole gems. Magic hand on Tampo. He does use a shield, but it's broken. Zeus able to push up now.
Я сейчас не буду это собирать, потому что Твоер на ВБС, я на него потрачу, а то смысл нет. Момент, как игра начинается. Надо быстрее, быстрее.
And he's forced to back up.
Now map control gets pretty critical here. That's why Kenji goes aggressive. Luffy deep. Chitapo able to use the super to avoid the damage. When RBM plays back, that's the gem that starts the countdown. RBM hooks Tensai. What a connection! But Zeus goes down with the gems. Luffy's got to come forward now, but it's a countdown. 10 seconds left, but RBM is felled by the surge. Luffy's got to go in, but there is no shot, no hope. And Crazy Raccoon will take the first game.
This Draco was pivotal for Crazy Raccoon. Actually spawn camped him for a pretty serious duration. And as a result, Moya could just sit back at mid, farm up some of those gems on the Tara, and he's practically unpushable in close range. As Tara, you're going to be locking in so much damage when all 3 of those cards hit, and you're going to be getting super and hypercharge as a result.
This Kenji is struggling. Luffy having a tough time trying to get through these layers of abstraction. Draco, Tara, Surge, all of them problematic to deal with. Tensai realizes not worth to use the gadget there, so Luffy gets his. Boombox is annoying. Will reveal the bush for a time, which Chitapo quickly nips that one in the bud.
He's trying to use his wide slash to get some damage on CT Tampo without risking feeding him super. But it feels like an inevitability. Tensai on the backside. Pretty serious damage on RBM, but the gadget expires before he can lock in the kill.
Magic hand available here for the Gene. Moya spotted there. Vision gear, of course, up. What a dodge away from that Tara super. Luffy's able to get 2 gems to his name. Tensai, though, will survive. Low. Luffy comes in with super. Tensai finds 2, but RBM scoops up the gems and gets out with 6.
Oh, pulls the shade. He went for it, but Moya had the support from beyond ready to go. Luffy's going to try and push him now, but has to be aware of the positioning of Tensai. Forced to go in, but he's got a super now. Looking for the damage on Moya. There's 1 slash. There's 2. All the way to the back. More. Doesn't matter if he dies, but he still has fed the hypercharge and the super to Moya.
Hook there, Chitapo caught out again. Now map control for Elevate. Help from beyond pops so Moya can dodge any potential supers from the Gene. Here's Zeus lighting the map up. Tensai mostly being ignored, and Moya is down to 762. Almost catching on was Luffy, but now Tensai's a problem in that super form. Burns Luffy down. 9 gems for RBM though.
Moya's gonna get 4 more gems here. He's gonna go for it all the way to the back right. RBM's just out of range. Zeus trying to defend, and the hypercharge and super available for the Gene over here. Another pull. Moya at mid. he's gonna have to defend Luffy. Managed to pick up the gem, but all of them spill onto the ground. Luffy with a two-piece, and Elevator running it back.
And Elevate could walk away here with 13 gems and be secure in the knowledge that that'll be enough to win them the round. 5 seconds remain, but the zoning is too good for Elevate. Crazy Raccoon will have to let this one go to double match points.
The true distance, the absolute limit of Brawl Stars. Double match point incoming.
The harder they get knocked down, the quicker they get up. Elevate. They have grown over the course of this series, but now they're going to land the plane. Chitapo gets aggressive at the top of the map, but Tensai is dealing with Luffy right now. And doesn't want to pop a gadget for that, can't blame him. Elsewhere, RBM deals with Moya. 3 gems, and they're spilt. Now Luffy tries to get away. Another super. Chitapo has the super to get away, and Tensai has the elimination. Zeus only 1 gem, RBM 1. Elevate walk away with 2 in total.
Bad business though. Tensai managed to come around the right side. He's gonna have to be scouted out by RBM. Getting dangerously close. Has the super to get bonus damage. RBM doesn't really have much play here with the super. We'll see Luffy fall on the left side to Moya, who's now sneaking up on the left. Zeus has got to find a
blowout.
Safe place to land. Tensai still alive. Luffy got him. Does manage to get the kill. Super in. No contact. Moya knew exactly where he was going to return.
Moya can pick up that gem there, dropped by the Kenji. Get Crazy Raccoon ahead by 1, and with 2 loose in mid. Moya will have to allow Elevate to have at least an equal game here. Janet now has the gems. RBM can go more aggressive to get that vision to line up these pulls. Luffy pulled himself into the Moya super.
Assistance required on the right side. RBM's gonna need some help with Tensai over here. We'll see Luffy charge forward. Chitapo now with a hypercharge. Big damage on his Zeus and onto Luffy. But Elevate all gravitate towards this right side. Tensai going for the big play. Zeus towards the skies. RBM left all alone. A little more damage on a Moya. Chitapo looking for gem number 10. Luffy's got to contest.
He can't. Chitapo back over the wall. Okay, countdown secured now. Elevate lose their gems. Luffy trying to go deep here, but Tensai ignores him as Moya throws down. And Crazy Raccoon, the kings that once were, will return to a World Semi-Finals to claim what was once theirs.
The All-Stars of Brawl Stars advance once more to top 4 for a second attempt at a grand final. Last time, they were bested by the team that took it all. Once more, they can manifest themselves into that position. Another stab at being world champions.
Speaking of stabs, Tensai on the Draco. Oh man, it was fun to watch. Nigh unkillable, literally unkillable with that super, with that gadget available rather. Elevate made it close, but a couple of stumbles. You've got to feel in that last round, they let the game devolve into a bit of a scrap fest on that right-hand side of the map. Luffy getting caught in a couple of those Tara supers. That was a big difference. You see Crazy Raccoon, they wanted to play against the Kenji. They wanted to play some old school brawl. And old school is the good school here. And Elevate just flunks the class.
Tensai over here, 10 kills for the guy. Penetrated that right side, became a massive issue. And RBM had to play an untraditional position because typically it would be around mid. He is the mid brawler, he is the gem carrier, but he couldn't safely reside in that area with Moya and Chitapo alternating between that left side where he's so vulnerable to being flanked from the bushes. So on that right side, he's now forced to lane against Tensai, who has simply too much health for him to really face.
And let's throw it back to the draft here. It's a gene pick straight away from Elevate, right? That's their first. Their surge picked up for Crazy Raccoon. They know they let the Kenji through the drafts. And my goodness, how scared must you be of the Draco and the surge if you are picking a Janet to try and reveal the right side of the map with that boombox? A very unorthodox pick here, and you could see Elevate were looking for options because they felt like in a pitched battle, or if they walked into those bushes, there was no way they were going to win.
We saw situations where Janet was actually using the super instead of for scouting to just escape, especially against a 1 HP Draco that was such a serious threat with that gadget. We saw numerous situations where Draco's looking to pick up a couple of kills here and only fell at the final couple of moments there. That is how much of an issue this selection was for Elevate. And we see Crazy Raccoon, despite their complaints about how this is going as far as which brawlers are most powerful, they're not too good for it at all.
I mean, they play Draco. I mean, I'm sorry, that's not really old school, in fairness. But what a game we get. We start off the day with a 5-set banger. This one was no different. But now we must bid farewell to the final remaining North American delegate here at the Brawl Stars World Finals 2024, leaving only APAC and EMEA as the regions left to fight for it. And my goodness, that battle between Reply Totem and Rival Esports could set us up for EMEA versus APAC finals. If Rival can make it through, that is a big if. That if is doing Olympia level lifting. But we have an incredible game on the docket still to look at here. Real quick, what are your thoughts? Reply Totem, Rival Esports has been a crazy day.
We see Reply Totem just barely make it to the stage, the last seed in EMEA, make it all the way through LCQ against Rival Esports, a huge underdog in their match yesterday, managed to trounce their EMEA competitors, and they can look to do it again.
Crazy Raccoon have survived the quarterfinals once more and awaiting their opponent. It's going to be Reply Totem versus Rival Esports to decide our last semi-finalist. One more match for the day for the Brawl Stars World Finals Day 2. Don't go anywhere. It's bound to be a blockbuster.
The 2024 Brawl Stars World Finals are brought to you by ESL, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Once upon a brawl, a new evil emerged. A handsome young minstrel who once charmed crowds, now fallen to darkness, his smile but a shroud. A mischievous feline, known for his cute paws, now a master thief, unlocking chests and doors. A healing guitar and a friendly face, now a flaming skull, kindness gone without a trace. A delicious cookie baker, one of the best, now a haunted castle, a ghoulish guest. This automaton once served juice. Now with his sword, your head he'll make loose. A knight turned into a nightmare. Nani and Peep now only want to scare. A fairy tale ending? No! A scary tale beginning!
To the Brawl Stars World Finals. We're gearing up for our final match of the day. But Trav, what an incredible journey it has been to this point. 2 games that have gone the distance and just had my heart in my mouth. What did we just witness? I mean, it's the end of NA Hope, but I mean, you've got to hand it to Elevate. For 2 out of the 3 to have their first World Finals and pitched against Crazy Raccoon to come that close, unreal.
Yeah, no, Elevate absolutely played their hearts out and provided some unbelievable gameplay. So sad to see them knocked out here in day 2 of the Brawl Stars World Finals. I really, really wish we could have seen them go that little bit further.
It could have been, honestly, another incredible upset for day 2. We've already seen the world champs go out on the first game of the day. It's just been the gift that keeps on giving. 2024 is at an all-time high.
It really is. Like, it's been so dangerous, and, you know, we're not stopping there. We've got another absolute banger up next where APAC, I say after APAC provided that kind of gameplay, they better hope that they get another representative a little bit further on, otherwise they might be having some issues in that region as well as NA, but they are obviously up against Reply Totem, which is such a strong matchup.
It's set to be a massive banger for me. Certainly Reply Totem are that team which have just had a really abysmal year, but they are now at a really strong place. And similar to SK Gaming, I've got to say, they've got a lot of loud voices in their crowd. They are that momentum team, and they've got people cheering for them.
Yeah, these EU teams have had such a strong showing from their audience, from the audience in general, I will say, because they just have so many representatives, fans who come out and support them, and you know, you don't understand until you're on that stage how far that can go. Having the backing of the entire crowd really gets you through those tough moments, motivates you through the hard times, and it is a big thing for both of these teams to have as backing.
In terms of our predictions, so far, so good. I mean, we differed a little bit, but I think that first match was very much a 50-50 though, Trav. I mean, I didn't blame you for it.
We almost just got another loss handed to all 5 of us, I will say as well. A double match point from Crazy Raccoon versus Elevate as well. Luckily enough for us, at least, Crazy Raccoon did manage to pull through. But me and Ready Set, we started obviously with the Zeta division, which didn't go our way. But genuinely, that could have gone either way, and so could that last game as well.
I have yet to get a prediction wrong. Just putting that out there. Uber, I think, very much as well. This is where we differ as well. Uber's been definitely, flying the Rival Esports banner since we basically arrived in Helsinki, Finland, and I didn't blame him for it. I was certainly there yesterday and didn't quite get to catch the games themselves, but nonetheless, I think this squad have got something special. They could cause another huge upset. We know what the EMEA region can bring to the table. And for Rival Esports, going back to 2019 with Milk Rio, I mean, we really are going back in time somewhat in this match.
We are. I mean, Rival Esports, they've had they've come in second seed from the APAC region, obviously only being topped by the Crazy Raccoon roster that we have just seen. So they've been, pretty consistent to be able to get through to this through points. Reply Totem, not the same story. Came 6th in EMEA, only just squeezing into the LCQ spot. They've been pretty smooth sailing from there, I will say. Had a few hiccups back and forward, obviously throughout the year, not making qualifications and going out early on. They had that one monthly final that really pushed their points up and got them in the position to get where they are now, to bring this incredible matchup. It's either going to be another EU representative in the semi-finals to make that 3, or APAC are going to have an APAC semi-final as well as a European one.
Melting Shoe, this is their first World Finals for Milk Rio. This is his 3rd, and I've got to mention as well, Reply Totem's set win percentage is abysmal. It's the lowest of any team in the World Finals at 27%. It was definitely a rough year in the monthly finals streaks. They went out in the quarterfinals 3 times. They didn't qualify for a monthly final. That grand finals victory, which they got, I've got to say, I say every time, it absolutely saved them. But as you rightly say, the LCQ was far better for them. Being able to really get some fantastic results there and knock out Tribe Gaming. I mean, that really was a commendable feat, and we didn't necessarily know how they were going to fare yesterday, but they looked really good.
I mean, it is one of the main selling points of Reply Totem. That's the whole thing, right? This LAN experience. I saw Reply Totem, Chaos alone has like 19 LAN appearances, qualified to all 6 World Finals, 5 of them. So him alone has accolades to rival any pretty much team to completion. But, add Maru, add Mori to that, and they are just that really well-rounded roster when it comes to LAN events.
And in terms of the drafts, we were quite surprised yesterday when we kind of saw some of these brawlers that we hadn't seen for a long time coming out of the woodwork, bringing in Maisie. We were like, whoa, what's going on here? And it actually worked out phenomenally well. So, I mean, you've got to bear those things in mind. The draft is so instrumental to victory. We've seen that today, and how teams can topple and falter when that's not quite in place. For Reply Totem, when you look back through their year and the struggles which they've had, to now be coming in at what I feel is their best performance to date, it's very commendable. But for Rival Esports, they are an underdog somewhat, but I think actually Reply Totem on paper should be the underdog in this story. And that's not been the case from what we've seen. I think for Rival Esports, for many that have not really been following their journey this year, they're not necessarily looking like the hot one in this prediction, in my opinion. But I think they could surprise many of us, and this could be one that goes all the way to a 5th and final set.
I do think it will. It's a 50-50 matchup in my eyes. Rival Esports yesterday against Eternal Fire especially was so good, so strong, managing to sweep them quite simply, I will say as well. Not really that much resistance from Eternal Fire in that one matchup. So Rival Esports, if you just look at the regular seasons, as you say, you'd expect them to come into this one as the favourites. But you've got to look at the LCQ run from Reply Totem. They're dominant against so many teams and had an amazing day yesterday.
We can take a look back as well at how today is fared in terms of the bracket to revise the memory as well, because honestly, if you are just joining the stream, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but we are approaching our last match of the day. Going back to the very beginning, it was Zeta Division, the world champions, who fell to SK Gaming in 2 incredibly clutch back-to-back bounty moments. Honestly, one that I will look back over time and time again. That made Brawl Esports history for sure. Hummel versus Pioneers though, Trav, that was a complete stomper.
Yeah, it really, really wasn't that close at all. Humble had the draft, they had the gameplay, they had the mentality. Everything went right for them and everything went wrong for Pioneers. But I've got to say, that SK Gaming versus 8th Division has got to be the best, or at least my favorite game of the day. I'm sure you'd probably agree, looking at it from a standpoint viewer perspective, as we both were. But that last game was incredible as well.
It's been such an enjoyable day, and it's great that we've still got one more match to come. You can hear it behind me. The crowd is starting to go wild. Let's head over to Banks to introduce the teams.
These matches are separating the men from the boys here at Superfest, and this next match is your last quarterfinal of the day. So with that being said, Superfest, make some noise! We're almost getting there, it's nice. This next match will decide the lineup for Championship Sunday. So, first up are your dark horse of the competition, securing their spot in the quarterfinals with a victory over Eternal Fire. From APAC, it's Milcrio, Melty, and Shu. They are Rival Esports. Their opponents are an EMEA powerhouse with 4 World Championship appearances. It is Maru, Mori, and iChaos. They are Reply Totem!
Well, Trav, the final match of the day. The number 6 seed rather in the EMEA region going up against Rival Esports, the number 2 in the APAC region. This is going to be a spicy one. There's no way around it.
It really is. I mean, a quarter of the entire crowd alone are chanting for Totem Esports, possibly even half back there as well. They've got so much support behind them, and the same can't be said for Rival. They've got a few fans dotted around here and there, but this is setting up for it to be a Reply Totem win if you're listening to the crowd.
When you've got that much support behind you and everything you do is cheered upon, it's got to count for something. For Rival Esports, certainly a tough one ahead of them. For Milcrio going back as far as the 2019 World Finals, where he gained 2nd place with Animal Champuru, just coming shy of that Nova Esports victory. Of course, for him today, I'm sure many memories coming back to mind as well, that it was not so victorious going back to 2020, where they exited in the quarterfinal stages as Jupiter before they rebranded to 8th Division. That was his last World Finals appearance. So to join this squad, for those that have got their first World Finals appearance here today, he has the most experience.
Yeah, but he's an absolute character as well. When he was walking out just now, I'm sure you guys saw it as well. He was like doing some really odd walkout, a lot of energy behind that man, and that alone can motivate a team in itself. When you've got the front man, and I hate to mention them here, Tribe Gaming, when Zulan starts stepping up, the whole team does as well, and that might be the same for Rival Esports with Milcrio. But Reply Totem, let's focus down on this roster. We've talked about them a lot already. Maru, iChaos, and Mori, 3 incredible players and absolute land demons.
For iChaos as well, this will be his 5th World Finals. And no surprises there that his favourite brawler is Rico, because that is really one that I feel like Rival Esports might be looking to ban. And if they're not, they probably should be, because it's one of those select picks that you've just really got to keep your eye on. He finds every single angle imaginable. For Maru, this is their 4th World Finals. Also, they are very accomplished in this position and very comfortable as well. Going into the LCQ, big question marks as to how they were going to be faring, in all honesty. Just really looking quite bleak. They've just been really taking it to the next level ever since then, and they've kind of yet to slow down in that regard. That's a scary prospect for Rival Esports.
And a big one for the caster predictions as well. I believe it's only Arc or Uber who can go flawless today and yesterday, and they have differing opinions. Arc is obviously going for the Reply Totem side with the rest of the casters and the public. But Uber staying firm with his Rival Esports pick that he's been singing the praises of all weekend long.
There is a lot of tense feeling here on the casting distance, I'm sure, no doubt, there on the player podiums. The crowd setting themselves in for what is set to be an absolute spectacle. The Reply Totem fans, they're about to blow the roof off this arena.
Yeah, we can hope for just that. Reply Totem settling in, and the same with Rival Esports. Neither side looking too nervous at the moment, but when the gameplay starts, I'm sure things do start to change. A couple mistakes here and there can definitely make that mentality waver just a little bit, and the slightest mistake will cost you the team. Will cost your team a World Finals semi-final. In terms of predictions, it was 63% to Reply Totem, 37% to Rival Esports, so not that far apart. But we're starting things off in center stage in Brawl.
I think, to be honest, not a unfair prediction, actually, for Rival Esports. I feel like they've got a lot to show, and no doubt will dig deep when it comes to these drafts. Quite a balanced one, I feel. As we go into center stage, the band's already in for Reply Totem, the Stu, the Nita, and the Otis. For Rival Esports, they do not want the Kenji or the Frank or the Mo. I think we've kind of seen far too much of Kenji slipping through this weekend, so I don't mind it at all. Certainly though, the Rico is open with the Vision gear as well. We know it's going to be a sort of Reply Totem idea. The Clancy, first pick. I kind of prefer the Surge myself, to be completely honest, in this scenario. Certainly for the side of Reply Totem, they're looking to have that kind of tank counter in play. Gale as well, another big one, open here. You see, yeah, I would kind of side more so with that idea.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, they're two very similar brawls if you think about it, with the leveling up mechanics. Once you get to level 3 for Surge and obviously level 3 for Clancy, you're going to be playing on pretty level playing fields. But we do see the Squeak roll in after that as well. With the Fat Splatter, you're able to kind of slow things down, scout out the bush, and see where opponents are if they do choose to walk through this grassy area. But as you said, there is the Rico for Reply Totem, and something that IKEOS is very familiar with.
Yeah, it's a solid pick. And the question now is, do Reply Totem bring in something tanky? Because they would be doing it into the eye of the Surge. The Squeak would be able to shut down that left or right-hand side and just allow Rival Esports to really focus their attention entirely on that side and see the slip through. They're going to go with Rosa. That is a daring choice, but in the hands of Reply Totem, they do play some fantastic tanks. I was kind of surprised it wasn't the El Primo myself.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I mean, with Maru on that brawler, you never know what's going to happen, but Rosa, you know, pretty similar. You're going to be able to play the kind of short-range brawls and have the shield to be able to walk in as many goals as you'd like. But over the other side, we still have one pick left for Rival Esports. It's going to have to be a good one to be able to counteract these tanks in this absolutely amazingly well-rounded roster that Reply Totem have brought to the table. But it is going to be Gale, a bit of a tank counter in there as well. Add that to the Surge, and Rosa's going to be having a hard time.
I love it. I really do love it. You know, Gale was wide open from the beginning, but there was no reason to necessarily go into picking it. But that Rosa was not kind for Reply Totem in the way that the coin toss landed with things. It just left a good counter option for Rival. Now that you've got the Surge and the Gale into that Rosa pick, I feel like the Clancy needs to really pop off early on, try to get those stacks as quickly as possible, get the additional range, the additional speed, and of course that additional shot factor in the thick of things. The gadget there, the left-hand side, already making some good work of Reply Totem, but Maru has pushed forwards. A good gadget there from Melty, but look at that slow. The unfriendly pushes of the Rosa just left. Rival Esports so susceptible to damage. And look at this, pushing the ball forwards, and he's taken a great twister, and Maru can't get the ball.
What a stop, but now that's gone, and Melty is back, still level 1, passed the ball to himself, a little bit of a mistake in there as well, wasting some ammo, and Maru will clean that up quite nicely. Not too much pushback from Rival so far, as Reply Totem seems to have all control of the map. A super available over the right-hand side from Orion, already leveled up once as well. Not the best of starts for Rival Esports when things need to change. What a super from Chaos! We said watch out for it, and this is why! They get the ball.
Look at this! A complete and utter T-Y, but it should be a straight, easy walkthrough. Maru will score it. Reply Totem making light work in the first minutes.
Melty needs to get these levels up and get going because Maury's already doing just that, and Maru decimating the opponents along with IKEOS. Slow comes through with the unfriendly bushes. Vertical jump from Melty, which was baited out by Maru, who now gets hypercharged and powers on. Surely going to be able to get the kill, the pass up, and that is going to be game 1 to Totem.
Very strong opening stuff from Reply Totem. They got a game, and they've got the crowd, most importantly, firmly behind them. Let's see whether Rival Esports can build up some kind of a response here.
Всем привет. Я вернулся. Ненадолго.
To be honest, no, Chaos should really have been shut down on that Rico pick. Rival Esports left it wide open, and they're probably regretting that right now.
Punished for just that. Rival
Я сейчас опять пойду.
needs to start picking things up. Into the game we go once more. Shu picks up the left-hand side, pretty much already better than the last one. Slow in there as well. A pass to Melty, might be able to get a goal. Opening for Milcreo, and this should surely be a walk-in. It's the Clancy respawn. He stops it! Maori! What an offense from Maori. Beautiful stuff, and Rival Esports started better, but still, nothing back from it.
The Classy just decimated the opportunity, and now the ball pushed back, and it's Rival Esports that have got to defend this. Maru going in with a nice super, the perfect time for it. Against Milgrio, he might be in a good spot, but Shu coming in should clear that one up. Maori and IKLs, though, can scrutinize this right-hand side. Keep Shu low.
Это уже последний.
More into it. You do not want to get your Gale having hypercharge on that defense.
Great knockback though from the Gale, pushes him straight onto that slowing effect of the super. Twist used by Shu to stop him over him. Legs up shop. Maru's there for the pass to the mid. Or goes it himself, and Totem take another goal.
The thumbs up.
Давайте я побольше.
It's a rarity in Brawl Esports, let's be honest. But for reply Totem, they've yet to drop the ball. Maru pushing forwards, gets that landed in his lap. Getting a lot of scrutiny in mind. Shu taking care of the pass, it's perfect, but the takedown is there. Melty came in clutch, and now has got an opportunity to be able to get this super shot, and he doesn't fail to miss. He gets the angle and secures it.
This is what Rival Esports need to do, take advantage of the security that Reply Totem think they have, which they do not. Great super from Chaos once more, brings Milcreo so low, and might be another chance for Reply Totem to wrap up the set just as quick as this. Melty has to jump back to evade Maru, but still the rest of the team's there. Wanted to go for the trick shot, but thought better of it in the end.
Melty's going to go for the hypercharge, but not the best of times. He was not on the max stack side of things, and it's meant that it was kind of depleted somewhat. Reply Totem now getting themselves geared up. They know they've got 15 seconds before these walls come down. They want to stay firm and get a grasp of the situation. Like Chaos is low here, got to heal up somewhat in these final seconds. As Rival Esports respawning back in, they know they've got a big task in their hand. Maru's going to go early. There's a beautiful hypercharge there from Shu, and Rival Esports are going to be running away towards the goal.
Surely going to be sliding this one. It doesn't have the ammo to do it. Baits out the super from Maru there as well, but the rest of Rival Esports joining Shu up top. Milcreo can't grab the ball, and Maru might be able to play this one back into the hands of his teammates. Back safely into the corner, and a Rival Esports chance quickly dissipated.
Melty is lurking. His full stacks on that surge. Maori low on the right-hand side. Maru with the full HP of that Rosa pick, trying to force things back, but like Chaos falls, Maori's weak and weary. It's going to be down to Maru on this left-hand side, and it's not going to be enough. Maori quickly taken care of. Chaos tried his best, but it wasn't enough. And Rival Esports put one on the board.
Answering back in the best way. Some more confidence coming through from Rival Esports, but Reply Totem seems to me at least in control. The map was pretty much covered by them for the entirety, but a couple breakaway goals for Rival Esports bring it back even in set one.
Again, that residue on the left-hand side, forcing Totem to the right. Now Chaos back, and Friendly Bush is connecting there with Shu as well. As Melty that right. Milcreo, a second gadget there from Maru as well, and it gets an equal effect. Stop the healing, most importantly as well. On the side of Rival, Melty did well on that right-hand side. And it's Maori now who's weak, like Chaos. Pushing the ball forwards, I think it's the right play here. Like Chaos just trying to get that pinch between himself and Maori to get Melty, who survives on 76 HP.
Not going to get the kills as Mori and Chaos both survive. Maru coming through now, and Melty has to jump on him, but that might be a waste, and that's surely level 3 gone. But he picks up the left-hand side and stops the pass through. Shu's there to defend, but Maori almost level 3 in under a minute. Just a few more shots and he'll be at that stage, evading a few shots from Surge now, but scouted out by Shu eventually.
Nice.
Milcreo has the chance there to use another gadget. He's holding back for now. Shu falls. Now the super connects, but he doesn't really find much of the Chaos. He walks into it, if anything, 68 HP for Milcreo. And Totem is going to slow down the pace yet again. They want to make sure they land the mark as Maori now max stacks on this Classy, and he's dangerous, as is Chaos. Hypercharge going in, he finds one. Milcreo's the second goal, and it's a complete team wipe for Reply Totem. A goal and only 1 minute remaining.
Chaos does the job once more, but here comes the hypercharge from Melty. Might be able to find a few connections. One available from Maru as well. Unfriendly Bush is used, slowing a couple of the rival members in their tracks. 55 seconds to get the job done. Melty slowed down by the hypercharge of Rosa. Now the super comes through from Mori in this level 3, providing so much value.
Melty under scrutiny. Maru comes in at the perfect time. Oh, what a pitch between Maru and iKaos. Shu, a nice knockback and buy some valuable time, but it's Rival that are still behind. They've got to get out of this spawn. They've got to get out of the map, get some takedowns on the goal. In 30 seconds, it's a lot to ask.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it. Super going to be missed there on the left-hand side from Milcreo too. They need to push out on Maru, who's there waiting for them. Twisty Use blocks up that avenue, but Chaos picks up the mid. Now leaves it in a 2v3, and Shu and Milcreo have got a lot of work to do, especially with Maru straight in their face like this. 14 seconds. I just don't see how this is possible for Rival Esports, but Shu's going to try and fail. Melty the last option with level 3, but it's not going to be enough as Reply Totem secure the first set.
The air is electric. Reply Totem fans rejoice for the first set in the bank. Rival Esports just didn't really seem too connected. In that instance in Brawl Ball, they just felt like they were behind for the majority of things. A couple of breakaway goals in that second game, but an important set to win for Reply Totem. That early momentum is surely going to be very much now in their favor. A lovely shutdown there from Maori. That Clancy pick really proved to be a valuable defensive measure for them. But a lot of the time, for me, it was all about that control. And Chaos really finding that element with that Rico pick. Kept the pressure on time and time again. A couple of instances there, of course, where Rival had their moments. But Reply Totem, for me, looked like the stronger of the two in that first set.
Yeah, they really did. They had so much control. And every time Chaos got a hypercharge, Rival Esports members were dropping like flies. Just absolute dominance. And, you know, I'm sure they probably got heroes, but we warned them about it. And I'm sure they're well aware themselves. Big DPS, big kills out of Reply Totem. And Rival Esports not able to match that same energy, as they were pretty much pinned in the spawn for the majority of it.
I mean, Chaos got 2 kills more than the entirety of Rival Esports' kills combined. That says to me a big story. 354 HP as well. I mean, literally coming into the match, said, you got to ban Rico if you're looking down the barrel of iKaos. And look at that. The results spoke for themselves. I mean, I could shout a bit louder, but I don't know whether it will help.
Yeah, I think they're kind of probably well aware of the iKaos Rico, but maybe just didn't take it into account, thought they could handle it, and I'm sure they'll be thinking better of that idea now. We're going on to go Heist as the second set. Will Totem extend their lead, or will Rival Esports close that gap and make it 1-1? Heist is the game mode we will be doing it on, so we'll see if that aggression from Reply Totem is going to remain and win in this second set.
Certainly, for me, a tough game mode to have as your second set. For one that you've got in the bag already on the side of Reply Totem. You can get a bit overzealous, a bit overconfident. Heist can be brutal. The bans being the Bell, the Crow, and the Amber. I like that Crow ban, I've got to say. The Mo, the Angelo, and now the Clancy coming in as the first pick from Reply Totem. The Colette ban, love that as well. 6 individual brawlers out of the mix. Clancy could be quite risky, it must be said. I think a good deterrent though, however, of the chuck potential. That might be where they're thinking with that idea to have something solid on a defense, but certainly, if you're left in that lower stage of Clancy, you really are a bit of a sitting duck and open to a lot of ranged ideas. Colt, for me especially, a big heavy hitter. Gale jump pad strat into the middle of the map, potentially here coming through, and a good heavy tank counter for Rival Esports. Don't know whether I'm a massive fan of it myself.
Yeah, I'm not loving that from Rival Esports, I will say. The Lola adding to it as well, going to be able to bring some good DPS and the ability to tank some shots from the Clancy as well with that ego and freeze frame if that's what they choose to go with. But the Gale, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not feeling it too much. It's going to work. It's fine. It's good against tanks. It's a good preventative measure. But Reply Totem still have a long way to go through their draft, and they can just pivot off any ideas they wanted to go with tanks. They're going to go with the Piper, and I mean, that's going to be pretty good against the Gale. Once the ego's down, Lola might have some legs, but in the early game, Piper's going to thrive.
Tough to play into Lola though as well with the ego. Certainly if Reply Totem can break that mid early on, and that Lola's going to have a great time with the vision gear, obviously, as a result of that pick from the side of Rival Esports. So I think for the side of Reply Totem, they're going to want to open up as much as possible, but Kenji now, into the game. It's going to be very hard to make it work. I mean, certainly, I think a couple of these brawlers maybe counteracting one another. That's a brawl that I much prefer. I'm starting to side more with Rival Esports here. I think that Melody pick was the one that maybe Reply Totem should have considered a bit more. We haven't seen the best of win rates for Kenji on Heist. And it's one of those brawlers that, yes, it is exceptionally good, but is the best mode for it on Heist.
You know, it kind of seems like Reply Totem going to be banking on the Kenji assassinating a lot of these brawls and getting the real kind of tickle-down damage that Piper's going to do to the safe, whereas Rival Esports have the Melody available and can go to that safe and get damage along with the Lola as well. Already, Melty on 800 HP and Mori getting some good shots towards those stacks. Maru walking in a straight line towards the safe and Milk Rayo alike and gets a bit of damage in. Gadget going to be used, but Melody should be there to be able to assist. Super used, gets some good shots and actually picks up the kill too.
Staying in position for Maru, so important, and healing up now, allowing Chaos to get some good taps from the mid onto the safe. Rival Esports trying to scoot on through on that right-hand side, as Shu just juking, trying to connect with the safe. Now, finally on it. The damage coming through just a little bit though, 10%, but not done yet. Now Milkru, now Melty. This is starting to flow. Maru needs to come back in this scenario.
Yeah, I love the base race idea from Rival Esports. Just a shame for them that the Melody couldn't live a little bit longer with the help from the Gadget. Nice push back there, gets damage on both Mori and Maru. Chaos, the only one healthy, and here come Rival. Big damage rolling down. Shu needs a super to be able to add some to the mix, but Lola does enough herself. Good little knockback there with the auto-aimer of Chaos. And Shu shouldn't be far off some more aggression with only 39 on the safe. This could be done with one more Rival push.
Totem fans starting to rise up. It might be enough. Let's see. Chaos needs to tap here realistically. Here's Shu coming in with a nice amount of HP, decimated by the bombs that Chaos is leaving. But look at the damage raining down. The Reply Totem safe is on 18 HP. They need to go on the aggressive, but they've got to clear up these scrap first. Melty down to 800 HP. Maru going on the aggressive. There's so much more still needing to be done.
There goes Shu again, no gadgets left to just get taken down. A lot more needs to be done on the Rival Esports safe. Melty just launch padding up, says goodbye to Maru, drags him back, gives a little bit of time for his teammates to come back into this mid, but at the moment, they're not able to do so. Shu needs a super, needs that escape route, needs to be able to get up the map, but at the moment, no one on Totem's feeding it.
30 seconds. This needs to be very calculated for Totem. They cannot drop a beat here. One takedown, Shu low on the right-hand side. They've got to find him. They've got to get on their safe, get the damage they need. Milgrio is still staying on that left-hand side. It's being a menace here. At the moment, Rival Esports are in a fantastic spot, but they've got to hold firm on this defense.
Yeah, I mean, 14 seconds, Shu was thinking about going in, but thought better of it in the end. Now he goes in to try and stop them and bring them back. Does just that. 8 seconds on the clock. I don't think they've got the time. If 3 of them are on the safe, never mind, none of them. As Mori gets pushed back, and Chaos can't find anything. Rival Esports say game one, safe.
Signs of life then.
Нормально.
For Rival Esports. The heart is still beating. With this heart, there's the potential to bring back a set and level out the playing field. Let's see whether the Reply Totem have got what it takes to bring this set to even, because that was much, much better. The melody of Shu really was a problem and a thorn in their side.
Yeah, Gadget wasted by Maru there as he just kind of had trickle-down damage. Now Shu comes in, has some notes around him as well. Gadget used, gets a decent bit of damage. And kind of the flip of what we saw in the last one where Reply Totem started so strong. Maru really not having the best of times against Melty or Milkro. They keep on kind of peppering down this shield that he does get. Now the pinch comes in, Melody might be able to get a few shots and finish him off here. Gadget's not going to be used just yet and does go down. Shu now has the super, and Rival Esports firmly with a grip on mid.
Shu coming in yet again, but good stuff from Reply Totem, getting the job taken care of. The damage, though, still very much against them. They've yet to make a scratch on the Rival Esports safe. The scale pad is just keeping them on the defense, but Melty's low. Milkreal also, there's going to be the time to strike. But again, Chaos struggling against this Lola pick.
Я
It's causing a problem. The ego just taking a lot of these shots.
Думаю, где же
the fact
это?
that Shu can do this and just run up the map and try and escape does really nice job. Mori solo, he's going to choose to go for the save. Chaos jumps back, gets picked up as well, and Shu's still surviving, gets another, and Rival Esports running away with it. Maru goes down 2, and the damage pours in.
Phenomenal stuff from Rival Esports. We're just making making this look very, very comfortable. Let's be honest, Mario goes in, but Shu still stays standing. These really are struggling to take care of business now. They've only got 9% damage. This is not good enough for Reply Totem.
Shu, super in hand once more, wants to go straight through the middle. What can Chaos do? A couple more notes of damage on the safe, brings it down to 9, but Chaos starting to tap that safe. Now gets one on Melty, who opens up a bit of an avenue for Mario, who he wants to take glory. Level 3 on the right, on the left-hand side, but Shu comes through, jukes a few shots beautifully. He's just buying time for Rival at this point. And with Kenji down, or at least up top, Melty has the hypercharge on the left, and this should be all Rival.
Yeah, Melty now pops the hypercharge and pushing his way forward, but getting tapped up big time by a Chaos. Shu still stays standing! And for Rival Esports, they gain back a set! And we've got a banger still on our hands.
The Rival support waking up. The sound of them winning a set was enough to get going. We have a game on our hands as Reply Totem drop this second set of Kaboom Canyon to Rival Esports, and the score is now even. What started as a very dominant Reply Totem series is quickly gone the other way.
We were saying coming in, we weren't overly convinced the Reply Totem draft. It's very hard to keep up the aggression that you need and the consistency that you need when you've got that combination of that Gale jump pad. That's the melody for me. And Shu was the shining star, playing the objective, being an absolute menace, and no surprise there as to why he's got the most kills on the board.
Вот если мы еще возьмем вот этот режим, то мы еще больше получим.
But again, it's all about that objective play. Despite the high DPS there of Chaos, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I was going to say commendable performance from Chaos there. 370 DPS with the sharpshooter of Piper. Really nice stuff from all members of Reply Totem. But as you say, Heist, one of the most objective-based game modes that we have in Brawl Stars, and Shu played that to perfection.
It really was wonderful, wasn't it? Just kept Reply Totem on that back foot time and time again. And it's all well and good getting that first set in the bag. When your second set is Heist, you've got to go a little bit more defensive. And this is not much of a better mode and map, let's be honest, to have. We're neck and neck. We're going into Snake Prairie with Bounty.
Блин, реально, если подумать, то вот этот новый боец, то это просто копия Лори. Один в один просто. Практически. Вот серьезно.
Let's see, we've got,
well, you've just named pretty much all the bands.
The Gene and the Surge as well, I really quite like here as well. But, I mean, Shelly, Griff, there's still some big offenders open here. Certainly, for both sides. You've got to be so careful where you lurk in these bushes.
I mean, the draft is what wins Snake Prairie. So, this set probably going to be decided before we even go into it. Mo is going to be picked up from Reply Totem, one of the best brawlers in the game at the moment, so they'll be pretty pleased that that has snuck through this ban phase. But there's so many things, as Ark said, to account for that have the vision potential that you've got to get rid of before Mo. Rival Esports will follow with their 2 picks shortly. But on Snake Prairie, it's so tough to draft right.
It really is. Very troublesome. Even at this top level, the best in the world will struggle, undoubtedly, on a map like Snake Prairie. The Rose are coming in for Rival. It's bold, it's early, however. Janet, I didn't like it when Elevate picked that in the 5th and final set. I can understand it here with the drop the base, getting a lot of information from your opposition for sure, but they trickle down, they decay over time. It's not gonna last forever, even with that additional gear to bring that gadget from 3 to 4. For Reply Totem, I wouldn't mind a Shelly here. Just be bold, get rid of that Rosa, get that knockback, and there it comes in. Love that for Reply Totem. They got some options now.
Yeah, I think the Janet will work if they're in the lead. They need that early lead. Oh. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. Some would say the worst brawler in the game right now, but might have some legs here.
I mean, for Snake Prairie, it does make a lot of sense. Able to get some damage output, but also heal your team at the same time. And the Rose is going to want to dive into this. I mean, I don't necessarily mind it, but it is very bold. I mean, ultimately, the most is getting the most amount of information. So, a lot of pressure certainly placed upon that player. And the vision gear that's going to be necessary to really get that information flow. Again, the Watchtower gadget makes a lot of sense, but when you're being rushed upon, is it really the brawler that you want to have on defense?
I mean, Rival are relying so heavily on all of their gadgets. When they run out, if they don't have the lead, I don't think they're going to get the lead back. Rosa with the unfriendly bushes, you know, the watchtower from Grom and the drop the base from Janet is going to be make or break.
It's bold, it's dangerous, but this is the World Finals. Rival Esports really are putting a lot of faith in those gadgets. Let's see how they will fare already. The watchtower on the right-hand side. But look at that, as quickly as that, Maori getting it taken care of. And the flank coming in. Rival do not have much of an idea where it's coming from, but Maori certainly has found themselves a target. Melty low, I guess for the pickup. The unfriendly bushes from Milk Rio gets the trade to the top left-hand side, and Rival have the lead.
But they've already used so many gadgets to get this early lead, and they're still going to continue going. I'm sure Maru probably going to be running that clay pigeon as well to get some long-range effect when he needs it. Mori going to get tapped up here by Melty though, and this watchtower all the way in the spawn has now gone. Another one placed and unfriendly bushes used once more. Chaos thinks he's going to be able to win that matchup against Milcreo, which so far he is doing. Melty goes in with the Mo. Shield going to be used by Milcreo to survive, but does eventually go down, and the rest of them not in a good position either. Totem extend the lead to 4.
Double takedowns for Reply Totem. The unfriendly bushes there will not slow nearly enough to close the gap. And Maru going in, being sneaky, finding Milcreo, and a lovely gadget there with the clay pigeons to follow on, but just coming short as Shu finds Maori, bringing the total back a little bit more into Rival Esports' favour. Melty takes to the skies, showing his teammates where Maru is lurking, but again, that Rosa for Milcreo needs to stay far away from that.
Yeah, well, hypercharge ready to go for the Shelly. And I mean, they're down and they're placing drop the bases in the spawn and playing defensive. This is the issue with their comp. They can't go aggressive. Milcreo's going to have to be the front man here, because who else at this point? Totem have so much to use here. The hypercharge and the shell shock from Shelly, the super from Chaos, down goes Shu, and the rest of them fall as well. Melty goes down as the last man on Rival, and Reply Totem team wipe to win game 1.
Making Snake Prairie look easy. Chaos going in for style points, and we'll get a nice lead. Not that they even needed one on the side of Reply Totem. Wonderful stuff. And we said it coming in, Trav. When those gadgets were gone, Rival Esports were back up against the wall. Reply Totem did well to take advantage of that fact.
Yeah, real big issues for Rival Esports when on the defensive here. They need to be in those kind of aggressive positions with those gadgets being used and getting kills, otherwise it's going to be all downhill from here. They get the blue star again, but Chaos already flanking this right-hand side and no visibility on him just yet. These two brawlers are going to have a real tough time against him. Gadget used, but slowed down perfectly. Grom in the back left-hand corner. Chaos going to be out of reach of Milcreo, but a good trade comes in. The blue star remain with Rival.
Maori and Chaos going to consider regrouping now, and they drop the base, taken care of quickly. Now the watchtower will expose that right-hand side.
Давайте посмотрим, стакается ли атака.
Maru's presence.
Я не
Chaos
помню.
here, looking behind Melty, it buys it as well.
Yeah,
Catches the blue star, and Maru's about to run straight to Milcreo. Double super, might even get a third, getting valuable hills there from Chaos. Well, look at this, a Grom bomb comes in. The blue star is the only thing keeping Reply Totem here afloat.
Yeah, Chaos got the super just in time. Maru on this right-hand side might be picked off by these two players here. Slowed down, but Mori goes in, and no help on the backside. One shot, and hypercharge used by Milcreo to come and help his teammate out and gets them the lead. Maru falls too, and Rival extend.
Chaos must have felt absolutely useless. If he had range, he had 2 easy, straightforward shots to land. But as a dog, he's so limited. And now Reply Totem have got to get a very good pinch together at just the right time. They can't really get behind the dog either. They've got to stay separate and come together at just the right time while staying on their feet, under pressure. Tough thing.
More gadgets to expend as well. Rival have dealt with them a lot better this game. Chaos providing the heals, not where he wants to be in this point in time. 20 seconds on the clock, and Rival Esports sitting pretty healthy at the moment. Totem starting to aggress now. The unfriendly bushes goes through, but only affects one member of Reply Totem. Backed into a corner as Totem start to aggress. Still 6 seconds on the clock. Tight Chaos goes in. The super from Mori. They get it done, but the trade, and he survives. All so low, but Rival equal it.
Everyone was down and ready to be taken out, but no one fell. Rival Esports did phenomenal there to hold their ground. So much pressure from Reply Totem. To their credit, they got that
Я
push
ничего себе
right.
думаю, выиграть
They
4-й раунд.
seal it.
Потом смотрю 45-й, нифига себе, потом понимаю, что это
Whoever takes this
20-й.
game will be one set ahead. Shulo Milgrio low as well, but again, this survivability continues in Rival's favor. This dunk pick not able to help out as nearly as much as Reply Totem need.
Mirror image from the first game as Rival Esports start to take a more healthy lead, second by second. Chaos using that super. Milcreo's just going to wait him out, try get some help from his teammates to be able to secure the kill after that super's gone. It is 5-0, and Totem have a lot of work to do.
Melty will drop the base and go straight to the skies, tapping into Maru, finding out Chaos as well, and that's going to bring a great deal of awareness to Rival here. Chaos getting some heals over. Maru is in a very nice spot. He might go in here. He's found both players. He will do just that. He gets the gun. He gets the player. Milgreo's the last one standing. He's got the HP, but Rival Esports are now behind. It's Reply Totem, ready for the hills.
Dream position for Totem. They needed the lead, and that's what they have. Unfriendly Bushes comes through. Who are they going to try and pick off? Chaos quite low, as well as Maru Mori in the same situation. Here comes the super. Maru affected by N2, dropped down. Just Mori alive. 40 seconds between Rival and 2 sets.
4-star lead for Rival Esports and more gadgets placed down. That, however, is the last. Going to be surviving only on Melty now on his super. Maori got his drill. Going to be coming in at just the right time as well. Everyone low, but Milgrio is going aggressive on Chaos. Going aggressive on Maru as well, but Maori gets some stars.
Прикиньте, если бы я играл просто в какую-то другую игру, типа не Brawl Stars, а главный экран просто включил какой-то геймплей.
Still kicking down, Maru steps out, Chaos coming aggressive, can he be picked up? Super in hand as well, and they add more. 16-10, and Totem go up.
The roof is falling off this arena as we speak. As Reply Totem fans take the stand. A really commendable comeback. I was very, very worried for them there. They had to get that right, and it was not an easy thing to make happen. The communication really had to be on point for a lot of these pushes to make sure that the aggression was there, but combining it also with just calculation. Again, that same old story from that first game through to the third for Rival Esports. Once the utility was down, they were down for the count. Reply Totem could have faltered.
Look at that. Beautiful. So low in that second game. Everything could have been different, but what a play by Mori, and what plays, I should say, by Mori in this third game. Coming away with 5 stars in the end of it. Managed to get Melty picked up there as well and get the retreat and the win for Reply Totem. In terms of stars, or kills I should say, Chaos was 7. So much for being one of the worst brawls in the game, because here, he proved his worth.
A number of times I did feel like if it had been another brawler, there could have been more to the tally, let's be honest. But that additional healing really did play a valuable role. And just keeping everyone afloat, being able to go on the aggressive in correlation to that. I mean, I know that State Prairie for some of the community is not their favorite, and I'm sure for some of the players, well, not necessarily theirs. But I found that very entertaining, I can't lie.
Love it. I love a bit of Snake Prairie. I will argue with anybody on that statement as well. Out in the open on Knockout could be our deciding game, as Reply Totem just 1 set away from victory and the semi-finals. But Rival Esports will need 2 on the trot if they want to be able to get themselves that next round ahead.
I can't vouch. You have always loved Snake Prairie. You know, it's not just words. I've known you a long time, and you've always said the same thing. Right then, fans are in. The first pick of Gene for Reply Totem, the bands, the Kenji, the Brock, and the Nanny. For Rival Esports, the Piper, the Angelo, and the Gus. The Gus band, really quite an underrated one, but one that I think is very much necessary here. Going to leave open some heavy hitters still for me. I like the Pearl pick later on down the line, combined with that Gene. Might be on the idea there for Reply Totem. There's certainly some long range available. Artie springs immediately to mind as one of those who can be on the cards for Rival Esports. And the second follow-up still to come, but good on both sides so far.
Yeah, I mean, Pearl, it's a great shout. It fends off tanks and pairs well with that Gene as well. So either side could be pretty happy to pick up that brawler, I'd say. Got that decent mid-range. They're going to go with the Bell, however. Want to take the sharpshooter route and obviously bouncing in these kind of later stages or early stages, reveals where they are in the bushes and keeps players low. I really like that brawler. Mark up some tanks and it makes it a lot easier to if that's the route Reply Totem go.
Ну, я не понимаю, типа, кто его забрал, если мы забрали. Ничего не могли к нам на базу пойти наши. И шо? Ну, убийство меня. Он запущу с ботами.
Certainly, it does really come into some troubles against a Buster. They're going to be going with the Byron to get the heals in, but for me, if I'm Rival Esports, go with the Buster. It's going to be really, really hard for Reply Totem to go on the aggressive when they've got that charging their way forwards.
But also, even if they do just take another long-range brawler, they've kind of got the lead in the range as well. You know, against the Pearl who doesn't really do that much at range, and Byron who's more of a healer than a damage dealer at range. It's definitely not a worst of shouts to go with something like that, and it is going to be the Eve. I don't love it, I don't hate it. Obviously the ability to walk over the water gives you a bit of an advantage over the left-hand side early on. But you know, if you can get that broken up with a Pearl Super or something like that, then that could work too.
Going to play well into the Byron, certainly that's going to be where those kind of hatchlings are going to be causing some trouble for Reply Totem. Keeping the Bell shooting, the Pell shooting as well is going to keep that overcooked low, so it's going to be a troublesome brawler actually for Reply Totem on some level, but I still just love this Gene Pearl combo and the value that you can get from the Vision Gear. I think for Rival Esports, they do have to heavily consider that Pearl pick and whether they go on the aggressive quickly to try to eradicate it.
Well, slow off the start, both teams here just trying to pepper each other down. A little reverse polarity from Melty will go bouncing around the map, but not find anybody just yet. A Byron shot connects with Shu, and he does have to retreat back over that water. Maru trying to make the most of this burn down damage from the gadget, but didn't find anything from it.
Nice gadget there from Melty. Does find Maru, who has the shield now, but certainly not in the best of spots at the moment. On the back lines there in the bush, but now pushing their way forwards like Chaos, getting some nice taps there. From that top right, Shu down to 1,300 HP there. Maru there pops a nice overcooked, and Melty might even burn down here, going to survive just about, but forced back. He's going to land this mark, and Maru would be an ideal target, but Maori keeps up the aggression, keeping him low.
Я хотел сказать, мне 30 не хватит, как будет хотел
heal, but that's cut short. Milkreo so low. Shu the only one really with some decent HP, but that's not going to matter either. As Reply Totem take this first round, 3 players up to the 0 of Rival.
Maori has the pull as well. Now, hunker down, supplies
Блин,
nice
раньше было
healing
так вот
along the way.
нажал, типа и все.
Tries to
Актив
secure
тут
Melty,
понадобавляли
brings
всего.
the mark onto Maru. Milkreo is definitely a hazard that Maori would like to avoid.
Где это мусор?
If they've got the support, an ideal person to get rid of early now. Here comes the overcooked from Maru. And big, heavy taps, that left-hand side. We can go 3 versus 2. Chaos bouncing his tasks into the mid, keeping Melty low. Magic hand from Maori. The Reply Totem are making it look so straight forward. The game is there. And it's now match point.
Ладно.
6 kills.
Все, короче, на сегодня. Ну, хватит стримить. Это что много. Перестримил. Привет. Братич. Не знаю, давно ты написал или нет, но в общем это все. Да, в общем-то, да. Короче, с вами был, как всегда, я, да, Айрон, типа. Всем удачи, там, пока.